Hello, and welcome to Chapter 2 Homework. Ooh, we got 7 questions going over how to determine that frequency for each of these items. So, yay, yippee, woohoo! So, again, starting point, we're going to hit with question 1. Now, we have 2,140 frequent business travelers were asked which Midwest city they preferred. Okay, Indianapolis, St. Louis, Chicago, or Milwaukee. 180 liked Indianapolis, 460 liked St. Louis, 1,240 liked Chicago, and the remainder preferred Milwaukee. We want to develop that frequency table. Now, again, our calculator can be used as the best here. Again, I have it on scientific from the lecture. That's fine. It still works. So we do know that right now our frequency for each one are frequent miles, but basically the frequency is how many each one preferred. So we had 180, determined Indianapolis, 460 like St. Louis, and 1,240 like Chicago. The remainder liked Milwaukee. So taking the calculator, taking our total minus the numbers, leaves us with 260 for Milwaukee. Nice. And again, always check your work. Make sure you got everything correct. Now, again, to determine relative frequency, we're going to take the total and we're going to divide into these items. So, 180 divided by 2,140 gives us this long number. And it says round the relative frequency to 3 decimal places. So this is going to be 0.084. Yeah, since the next one is 1. Again, let's check to make sure how they would like it. And that's it. So all you have to do with this problem is do the same. So let's go ahead and we'll finish it off. So 460 divided by 2,140 is 0.215. Now again, remember rounding. If it's 5 or greater, we round to the next number. If it's less than 5, we round down. 1,240 divided by 2,140, we have 0.579. And last but not least, 260. Is 0.121. Okay, let's check, make sure. Yay! All of them are correct. Now, again, we always want answers complete and correct. But remember, always follow what Connect is telling you to do. And this is saying round to 3 decimal places. If it's telling you it's wrong, check your rounding first, as it could be a rounding error. Okay? And if you cannot figure out why you're producing one answer and it's telling it's wrong, send me that email. Remember, I want to help y'all guys out. Alright, let's try something different. Alright, so we have Molly's Candle Shop has several retail stores in the coastal area of North and South Carolina. Many of Molly's customers ask her to ship their purchases. The following chart shows the number of packages shipped per day for the last 100 days. For example, the first class shows that there were 5 days when the number of packages shipped was 0 up to 5. Alright, so we're pretty much looking at a histogram here. Remember, it takes the highest and moves it down. Basically that range. And you can check. It's a multiple choice one, but that is a histogram. It's continuous. If it has gaps in it, then that's a bar chart. And frequency polygon is that line one that we had in the lecture. Again, we're working on items as we can. Alright, so it goes, what is the total number of packages shipped? All we have to determine is the numbers in each column. So you would add 5, 13, 28, 23, 18, 10, and 3. For me, that would be it. If your numbers are a little bit different, it's still the numbers in the bar. So, let's go ahead and do that just to show y'all how to do it. So I have 100. And it averages out about a package a day, it looks like. So there it is. Let's check. Make sure it's still correct. It is still correct. Again, the only reason why I'm doing the check my work is to show you what steps to do when you do homework. Because everybody should get 100%. And if you're not, and you got troubles, make sure you email me, okay? Anyways, what is the class interval? Okay, first off, how many classes do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 7 classes. Remember, we take the maximum, which actually we don't have to because it's already in class intervals. So 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, it's 5. I'm about to do it more complicated than what we should have. So again, check. Boom, 5. Alright. Almost went a little bit more complicated than it should have been. And doing all these complicated math. Just basically all this problem is reading the chart. Alright, now. So D asks for what is the number of packages shipped in 0 to 5 class. It was 5. Okay. What is the relevant frequency of packages shipped in the 0 to 5 class? Remember, relative frequency is taking the amount divided by the total. So again, for me, 5 divided by 100, 0.05. Okay. Then it's asking what is the midpoint of the 10 up to 15 class. Okay, since we're dealing with 5 as our interval, half of 5 is 2.5. So 10 plus 2.5 is 12.5. Okay, again, how I did that. Our interval divided by 2. Basically, is always going to find our midpoint and add it to our minimum value. On how many days were there 5 or more packages shipped? So it actually says, or 5 or more. Well, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it looks like about 30 days. 5 or more. Number of packages, frequency. Okay. So we're looking at 5 days. Plus 13, yeah, it's everything minus 3, so 97 days. Looks like. So let's check. Not 97. On how many days were there 5 or more packages shipped? Let's see. Turn to question. Shows that there were 5 days. Oh. Number of packages shipped. So probably be 95 then. So again, always be reading. We're going to always interpret. There we go, 95. Again, it was checking the days. Of course, 0 to 5. 5 days is below number of packages. So 5 or more. Alright. So that's question number 2. Yay! Let's go to the next question. See what else we have to determine. And again, if it's going to be more of a repeat, I'm probably not going to do much of it. Or I may do it. Who knows? So, the following frequency distribution reports the number of frequent flyer miles reported in thousands for each for employees of Brumley Statistical Consulting Incorporation during the most recent quarter. All right. Right here, we're not going to focus on these outside of connects. Okay? Do not worry about those. We are just going to focus on what we can do in Connect. If you would like to send me these items just to see how well you're going, you're good to go. You could. Okay? Again, we can only do so much when we're dealing with the software. So, how many employees were studied? 52 for me. Again, total. What is the midpoint of the first class? Well, we have 4. Number of employees. This sounds a lot like that third practice problem we had. Because 0 to 6, so we have 6,000 miles. 6, so we're doing 6. So it looks like it is 3,000. Okay. A polygon is to be drawn. What are the coordinates of the plot for the second class? Okay. So midpoint will be about 9,000. So we're seeing at 9,000 at 14. Again, Y is always the number of employees. Midpoint is whatever lies here. Let's check. Ooh. I think there is a mistake right there. I wonder. I'm going to make a little fun. Yeah. Something's not right. Did I add too many zeros? No? It said enter the answer in thousands. Round your answer to the nearest 1 decimal place. Well, 3,000 would be the big one. Let's see if we just put 3. See, sometimes that's what it is. That's why I like going through these with y'all, to interpret what they're trying to do. Because notice, it does say enter the answer in thousands, which I did. Alright, so there we go. So make sure, even though it says enter answer in thousands, just do it 3 or 9 or whatever it is. Apparently it does have the title right here, 1,000 frequent flyer miles. But that's a little bit of language issues that they have with this question. Again, anything that's outside of Connect, don't worry about. I mean, we're pretty much good on that. Again, we're going to do graphing and stuff like that as we move forward. But right now, I mean, you can email me these. In fact, that's up to y'all. If you want to email me these to see if you are understanding how to create a graph, you're good to go. Alright. So the following cumulative frequency polygon shows the hourly wages of a sample of certified welders in Atlanta, Georgia. Here we go. Alright, how many welders were studied? Well, let's see. We have 100%, 30. Let's see, there's 10, 20, ooh. Actually, we got 5, 10, so those are hourly wages. We're at percentage. So really, we got to match up on those. What's the bet? It's like a 100. No. Alright, sorry. I was just trying to be funny. Alright, so number of welders that we got. So we got hourly wages, $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, $30. And I'm getting lots of emails all of a sudden. So we know we have 10. So if 100% is 50, should be. There we go. Sometimes it takes a little while for the brain to go, even as professors, to click a little bit. Sorry about that. But again, since we're at 100%, that's 50 employees. Then, and it's cumulative, means that's adding up. That is our max. That's how many employees we talk to, is whatever's at top. What is the class interval? Looks like currently it's sitting at about 5 on hourly wages. So it's either going to be 5 or 10. There we go. Yeah, 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. Yeah, again, x-axis has our intervals. So we're sitting at 5 for each. Nice. How many welders earn less than $26 per hour? Alright. So there's our 26. So we're looking at... Ooh. Probably around... That looks like below... So it looks like about 46 or... Let's see. $26. So we got right about here. And we got to determine, so we know it's above 45, it looks like above halfway point. And we're right there at 46. Again, it's just interpreting the graph. Sometimes it may, because it's not big with lots of numbers, that you would have to actually look and just kind of guess for a little bit. But you do know it's in the range of 40 to 50. It looks higher than, well, we definitely know it's higher than 40, less than 50. Again, more cumulative down below. About 50% of workers make less than what amount? Okay. So here's 50. We go again. 50%, we're hitting there. So it looks like almost halfway between 10 and 15. So about 1250. Okay, and rounded up to 13. Again, interpreting the graph. 30 of the welders studied made less than what amount? Again, looking 30. Notice 30 is right here. It's a little bit higher than our half, so most likely it's going around to 14. There we go. And what percentage of welders make less than $25 per hour? Okay, there's 25. And we're looking at higher than 75, lower than 100. So let's try 80. Okay, so we're going to have to move a little bit higher. $80 was probably too low. Probably looking somewhere in the 90% range. And this one, yeah, they're either going around close enough so it's okay for you. But again, all they're trying to do in problem 4 is basically seeing how well you can interpret the graph. Again, your numbers may change than mine. Alright, question 5. The frequency distribution represents the number of frequent flyer miles accumulated by employees at Brumley Statistical Consulting Incorporation is given below. Okay, so it gives us the chart and it gives us the cumulative Polygon. Convert the frequency distribution to cumulative frequency distribution, which again, less than 5, we add everything up. 4, less than 10, looks like 17. Then we're looking at 17 plus 23, 40. Then 40 plus 8, we're at 48. And then we finish at 49. Again, your last class should equal the total. Check. There we go. There's our cumulative. Again, it's just adding everything that's below that number. How many employees accumulate less than 20,000 miles? That would be 48 according to our chart. Check. Boom. C, again, that's an outside. Not going to focus. Based on the cumulative relevant frequency, okay, about 75% of employees accumulated how many miles or less? Okay. Now, you may need to go ahead and draw this just to get to this answer. But let's see. Round your answer to one place. Enter your answer in thousands of miles. I want to make sure that's correct. So based on this, 75%. Okay, how many miles are less? Yeah. So we're looking at workers. Based on cumulative relative frequencies, about 75% of the employees accumulated how many miles or less? Well, let's take 49 times 0.75. We're looking at about 36 employees. So let's see how it goes. Because again, you never know how it takes that. There we go. So again, I hate that because they're doing the language again where it says enter thousands of miles. Just do the regular number, 15. And how I determined 15 without using the chart was, again, I just figured out what's the number for 75% of employees, which again was taking the calculator and taking 49 employees times 0.75. So I would have to find where 36.75 total would be, and that's less than 15,000. Okay. Question 6. Question 6 is going to have us actually interpret the data. So click here for Excel data file. We're going to pop that out. Gonna give it a sec to load. Here we go. Now let's see here. We gotta enable editing. And we're actually going to try this pivot table. Let's try the pivot table. Okay, we only doing one amount, so we're going to put it as such. And that seems a little odd. Didn't really do a pivot table for us. Just threw it right there. So let's see here. We want to change that to count. Let's see if we can just tell it to. Yeah, I don't know why. Usually it does a separate one. And for me, it just decided, no, we're going to throw it here. Alright, so now that we got the count, again, we can do count by going to summarize values to count. Notice how I put amount in both rows and value, which again has all those. Now we want to actually try and find the range. So we're going to go ahead and say, oh, I think I highlighted 2. There we go. Group. And again, they were going to suggest one way. Of course, we're not going to go that route, but we're going to go ahead and put it. This is how you can have Excel do the group. That's fine. But again, we're supposed to have 5. So for us, we know the lowest amount is 85. We have the highest at 334. Notice what numbers we have to put into group. That's our interval right there. So we have to figure out our interval as itself. So, taking our numbers. Again, I'm going to cancel that out. We'll go ahead and sort this. which is actually 327 is our highest, 85 is our lowest. So again, we're going to figure out the interval. So 85, oh wait, 327 minus 85. Make sure we put that in parentheses. Have a lot of pop-ups happen. And it said for us to do 5 classes. Okay, divide by 5. Alright, so it said the interval is going to be about 48.4. Okay, let's not use that. Let's try and use 50. Let's see what 50 does. So again, we're going to group. We're going to try and do by 50. And let's start with the lowest at 80. Which basically, if we do 50, actually, we have to keep it at 85. So, starting from about 330 minus 50, that we calculate 30 minus 50, that's 1 class, 2 class, 3 class, 4 class, yeah, 80, I was right. Okay, so there's our 5 classes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. Same thing that ends up happening, it's a little bit easier to round. I do not know why they're doing in Comic Sans, it looks like, on the labels. But there's our class. Yay. Alright. So smallest class interval. Let's see. What we had was 48.4. Okay, so that's what they're looking at. We're going to try and say 50, see if that's what Connect will like us. There it goes. Again, mostly like a 10. And surprisingly, they actually have organized right here. Look at that. I wonder if I delete that, if it's still there. Nope. It is actually there. It actually had the 50 for us. Notice that's kind of crazy. So, here, we were just putting our numbers in. So, 17. And then notice that it does do to 0. Go ahead and keep that as that, even though Excel has it at 179. So 130 at 180. Looks like 19. Then 180 to 230. We have 5. Yeah, using Excel to help us out a little bit. 230 to 280. Looks like we got 1. And 280 to 330. Do we have only 1, 2? No, we had 2. Okay, check. And there you go. Okay, that was just using Excel. Again, if you need me to show you again, email me. I will definitely show you again of how to use that pivot table. Because that was actually made it a little bit easier for us. All we had to do was figure out the interval. And that helped us out. Alright, last question. Again, we're going to do the same thing. Yay! So let's click here, get the Excel data. We're going to use a lot of Excel. Okay, so enable editing. You don't need this one. So here we go again. I'm going to put it, hopefully it goes up here this time. We're going to go insert. We're going to insert a pivot table. Okay. So let's go again, insert pivot table. Okay. So this time it actually did do a separate sheet. I don't know why it didn't do it the last time. Okay. It is what it is. So if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Same thing is going to happen. Okay. So we want to put the one that we're getting basically the frequency off of. We want to put it in rows and in values. Now, here, we're going to change sum to count. So summarize value by count. Okay. And again, should end up 30. Should be our total 30-day period. And then here, we're going to tell it to group. Now, you can always do the recommendation, which will trim it down a little bit, but you know it's always going to be too big. Notice how many classes we're going to have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Typically 5. Okay. So, there's two ways again of figuring this out. First off, we can go here to our original data set and highlight our numbers. And again, go to data and sort smallest to largest. So smallest is 5. Our largest is 67. So again, using our formula to figure out interval. We have our highest, 67, minus 5, divided by 5 classes. So that's our interval. Again, why did we pick 5 classes? Well, we're dealing with 30. And we know, using our calculator, 2 to 5 is 32. That's greater. That's how many classes we determine. In case you ever have to determine class by yourself. Alright, so we know our interval is about 12.4. That's fine and dandy. Is it the best? No. We know 10 did not get us to 5. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? So, all we need to do is increase it a little bit. Now, we can take the smallest at 12.4, but the best interval probably is going to be 15. Okay? A little bit higher again, round it to closer to the 5s or so forth, 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, you know, those kind of intervals. Also, look at the problem. It actually has the interval already set up at 15. I just like going through the math. So, we already got our lowest, and we know our interval has to be 15. So, interval, and then we have 15. So that would mean, basically using our calculator, 0 plus 15, that's 1 class, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be looking at 75 in the range. Again, if we take 75, work backwards, clear, 75 minus 15, that's one class, 2, 3, 4, and so forth and so on. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our 5 classes using Excel. And now all we have to do is input the information. Again, it goes off a little bit by 1. So we just have to put that in. 15 to 30. So don't put it exactly, it is off by 1. So this should be 30 to 45. Then we got 45 to 60. And then 60 to 75. Alright. And then finally finish by putting in our cumulative. So 2, 5, 7, 12, and 4. 2, 5, 7, 12. Did I doing that right? And 4. I almost stopped 24 because we were going higher. Alright, let's check. Ooh. So it looks like our Excel did not do it properly. Well, let's see. How can we fix this? Looks like we may be off by 1. We can count those. Or let's see if we can fix the Excel. So let's see if we group it. And secretly tell it to do 16. See, the numbers changed. Those numbers did not change. Theirs are still at 5 and 7, which they said were wrong. Huh. So we have an issue. So let's see. Let's actually count how many are between 5 and up to 30. So nope, 15 to 30, sorry. Nope. So there's 1, 2, there's 3. So let's try this again. We know that's no. Okay, so there's that one's not. 54, 60, 34, 5, 20. Oh! What did your instructor forget to do? Is cumulative. My bad. Sorry about that. So, this is actually cumulative. I was actually inputting. I didn't always check your work. Check your reading. If it's not putting out, there's a reason. So, since it's cumulative, this is actually correct. I don't want to mess this up. So let's put that back in the way it was. Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and add. So this will equal the sum of these two. Let's see if I can just drag down. No, it actually did the 2. So, basically, there's another way to do this. Equals this plus this. And now let's see. Nah, still not correct. I thought I was going to get fancy with y'all. But no. So it does have to commutate. So 14 plus 12 and equals 26 plus 4. There we go. Because we know it always has to end at 30. So 7, 14, 26. Now check. Boom. There we go. So, again, always read. I just went ahead and thought, oh, pivot table. And that happens. It happens. Not always perfect. But, there you go. And that's how you also determine, oh, why is it wrong? If I made the counts seem right. It's like, oh, it's commutative. My bad. Okay, so that makes it it for Chapter 2 homework. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know. And we'll move on to the next tile.